Rise and Shine with Robbo and Becci on Vision.
Well, it's that time of the week where we catch up with our favourite person. It's Brett Rahm from Focus on the Family, Australia. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning.
So
We're
good to have
very
you
excited
with
to
us. Unfortunately, Kate can't
speak
be
to
here,
you.
which is a shame.
Yeah, she's got a bit of a cold at the moment, and she sounds like Jeff rather than Kate.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, no good.
Well,
Well,
we'll
we'll
be praying for
yeah.
her speedy recovery.
Yes, she's been very, very healthy and well for a long time, and then just she looked after our granddaughter, and I think got the dreaded cold from her.
We know how busy you guys are, and you've always got something on. And I guess even just getting sick can throw a spanner in the works and change the plans. And everything that we've been talking about here in Rise and Shine over the last couple of weeks, there's a lot of changes going on, and there's a lot of changes going on in your world as well, Brett. How do we cope with all of that? How do you cope with that?
Well, I mean, I often quote from the Bible, "Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not break." But it's not really in the Bible, but it should be there. It should be there. And sometimes there are things that are beyond your control, and you have to adapt. Otherwise, it could become really difficult. So that when it comes to change, there are some things that are in your control, that you can control the pace and control what's happening and when. But there are some things that become chaotic. And sometimes you have to be kind to yourself, kind to those around you, right-size your expectations, which is probably the hardest thing to do, because you think, oh, this is all going to go well, and and you're looking at Becky, like hoping that all of her furniture was going to arrive at a certain time, and it doesn't, and it can throw you off kilter. So you need to be kind to yourself and, just say, I can't do anything about it, so what can I do with what I know and what I have?
And that's a great attitude to have, isn't it? Sort of, I think as I think about it, like if you lived on your own in a bubble, like in this complete vacuum, your life could be very organised and orderly and whatever, but there's so many other factors that flow in, whether it be people or events or, just situations that can come out of left field, and suddenly it's like, oh no, everything's just gone upside down.
It's always these other people mucking everything up.
Yes. And that is the challenge. I mean, obviously, we're talking about health, for example. That's something that's out of your control, and you have to go with the flow. Like I'm supposed to be running a marriage event coming up, and Kate is unwell, so she can't do it. Do I panic? Do I go into frustration? No, I have to deal with communicate what is happening to the host organisation, the church that I'm speaking at, make them aware, and then I will make the best of what I have of the situation. Disappointing, yes. Frustrating, yes, but it's beyond my control. So I can't allow that to be internalized and become worked up about it. And I think we're coming into a significant season, and many of your listeners will be in this situation where change has happened because of financial. The circumstances about their mortgage or their rent is increasing. They become really, really frustrated and angry, and they can turn on each other, especially their spouse. And you don't want to do that. You need to become teammates. You need to be working collaboratively. Don't take it out on one another. Yes, share your hurt, share your frustrations, share your fears, but don't take it out on one another, because they're in the same boat and you need to work together as a team. And I often say TEAM, together everyone achieves more.
Oh,
that's really good.
I love a good acronym. Brett, we're getting to know each other, and something you might not know about me is I like everything in its place. I'm the type of person who goes out there that buys the matching Tupperware containers. They all stack on one another perfectly. I know where everything is. And when I was at Bible college, I was there with a bunch of Americans, and straight away, because we were doing youth ministry and there's always changes happening, these Americans would walk around, and I learnt this, they would look at me, and Americans love acronyms. They were BF, BBF. They would look at me and go, BF, BBF. And I'm like, what is this? And it stood for be flexible, brother. Be flexible. And they said it so many times, they had it down to an acronym. And I would rage against, be flexible. How about we be organised instead? But over the years, I've learned that's some pretty good wisdom.
Well, Well, there's nothing wrong with having things in order. I mean, I'm married to a perfectionist, and she often says she's a recovering control freak, and the medications and the counselling are doing really, really well. But having said that, she has also learnt from me, and again, I'm probably a sort of like steady ship, and again, I'm not trying to glorify myself, but I don't get flat. I don't get anxious about it. I think it's because I was a critical care nurse for 15 years, and I made an intensive care and accident emergency. So you've got to be cool in the chaos.
Yeah.
And for those who are listening who have got a faith, we need to remind ourselves and actually say, it's in God's hands. I can trust God in the midst of my chaos, in the midst of my uncontrolled situation, and in the midst of my crisis. He's not abandoned me, and I trust that He has my back. And even though things may feel hopeless or things feel like, I can lean into His word, that He is there within the good times and the not so good times. Yeah. The challenging, the out of control, the things that are becoming so difficult. And I would encourage people when they're feeling that level of, go back to the scriptures, the word of God, be anxious over nothing, but prayer and petition, make my request known before God. He wants to be in your chaos. He wants to be there, right there. He's not left you or forsaken you. Yeah. And I would encourage people that, as I said, don't take it out on those around you. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, right-size your expectations, and then you'll be able to deal with it in a logical, rational, and it doesn't mean that you can't feel a little bit, out of control. That's okay, but don't allow that to affect your emotions and those around you.
Yeah, that's great advice. I love it. It makes me think, the last couple of years I've learned and been regularly praying the serenity prayer, and it says, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept what I can't change, the courage to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I think that's, if we can get that right, because oftentimes we try to change things we can't, but it's just being able to accept that and saying, God, please give me the serenity to accept this situation. Great advice there, Brett. Really appreciate your input there today. Now, I'm sure you guys would have on your website some great articles and resources that talk about some of these things as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking about an article that I recall, and it was called Crisis Control, and that may be appropriate for some people right now.
Brilliant. Well, you can find that at families.org.au, and we look forward to hopefully having Kate with us again with Brett next week when we talk to you guys. Thanks for your time.
You are more than welcome. Hopefully some of those principles be able to rub off on all of you.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.